everybody, this is D Hunter bringing another action figure review. Today we're going to be looking at the Jazwares Fortnite Legendary Series 6-inch scale Skull Trooper. This is the black and white Skull Trooper. This is a variant. There was a purple glow Skull Trooper released in Series 1. I personally got my figure at Target. I don't know if he's a Target exclusive, I'm not saying he is, but as far as I know, that's the only place that these have been spotted so far. This guy presumably is a part of Series 3 of the Jazwares figures. I had read at the Foosh forums that people were finding these at Target, and I really wanted to get a few of these Skull Troopers to use as some Scarecrow henchmen in my action figure world. So I went to Target. There was really nothing new there. Came back home, checked the Foosh forums again, and people said they were finding them in the promo aisle, the Christmas area. So I went back to Target, checked the Christmas area, found the pallet drop these were in. There were a whole bunch of displays covering it up. I moved those out of the way, found all the Fortnite figures I was expecting, and here we go. So let's go ahead and check out the packaging here. As you can see, Epic Games, Fortnite, ages 8+, Legendary Series, which means this is a 6-inch scale figure, not the 4-inch Jazwares. And this guy comes with a whole bunch of stuff. It looks like he's got a total of 3 different faces. He's got a Boogie Bomb, Ghost Portal back bling, and this one is a purple variant, different than the previous Skull Trooper release. The Reaper Pickaxe, Grenade Launcher, and then a Legendary Assault Rifle, commonly referred to as a SCAR. 40 points of articulation. Skull Trooper, 8 pieces. Here he is posed up one side. Here he is posed up on the other side. On the bottom, we've got a barcode, who needs that, and a bunch of credits. Then the back side, got the Skull Trooper here, as well as a bunch of the other new figures. Peely, Rust Lord, Molten Battlehound, Raven, and more coming soon. So with no further ado, let's open this guy up. And I did end up getting 4 of these figures. As I said before, I plan to double these up, both in my Fortnite collection and to use as Scarecrow henchmen in my Batman world. I was definitely happy that the Target I went to had more than 4 of these, so I didn't have to hit multiple targets. And this figure was just one of many from a big Fortnite haul today. Between hitting one Target, one Walmart, I got everything I'm looking for, and I'm now fully caught up on the line. Alright, now that we got this guy out of the package, here he is with all of his accessories laid out. But before I look at the accessories, let's check out this actual figure. So this is the default, regular, classic OG Skull Trooper, black and white. As far as action figures go, I definitely prefer this to one of the colorful kinds. A nice skeleton action figure, so many different uses in my action figure world. Predominantly I use them for henchmen for Scarecrow. This could make a good stand-in for Lord Deathman, maybe a base for a custom for Dr. Phosphorus, just all kind of cool stuff. So you can see the top of his head, completely white cap around there. He's got that sort of evil look to him, dark around the eyes, got that grin going on. Eyebrow cocked, skeleton body. This is the same body a lot of the figures use. Jonesy and a whole bunch of the other ones. Backside, more skeleton stuff. Pretty cool looking figure. I always like the Skull Trooper. I don't even have the skin. I really like the McFarlane Skull Troopers. They work great for Scarecrow henchmen for my DC Direct, DC Collectibles 7-inch figures. And these Jazwares ones work great for my Mattel DC Universe Classic 6-inch Scarecrow henchmen. And then here are all 4 figures with all their accessories laid out. Army building at its finest. And in the game, numerous people use the same skin often in one battle royale, so it works in displays as well. And then here are the figures broken down as far as they can go with all the removable parts detached. Now let's go ahead and check out all of his accessories, starting out with his faces. So here are all 3 of his faces. As best as I can tell, the one on the left is a little bit angry, the one in the middle is surprised, and the one on the right is kind of devious, grinning like he's up to something. Here he is with his first head. This is the one that I think is a little bit angry looking. Kind of say that because he's got his sort of teeth exposed. Next he has that sort of surprised or shocked look. That look sort of when you land and someone takes your gun right up from under your nose. And then here's his face here. that he came with. This is the default one in the package. He's kind of grinning, his eyebrows cocked, like he's up to something. Maybe like he dropped a trap and he sees someone heading right for it. And here are all three of the different faces next to each other. And if you really wanted to, you could take one of the faces from the Purple Glow Skull Trooper and put it on this guy, but it looks, frankly, just dumb. Next, let's check out his back bling. This is the Ghost Portal back bling. Apparently there are more than one color variation in the game. As you can see, it's got some swirling portal in the middle, purple, purple in the back. It's got a peg that fits into the peg hole in his back to attach. Here it is, next to the Ghost Portal back bling that came with the Skull Trooper from Series 1, the Purple Glow version. I can definitely appreciate them giving us a different variety instead of giving us a straight-up re-release. And then here are all four of both versions of the back bling. Like I said before, army building at its finest. And so here he is wearing his back bling. You can't really tell from the front, but if you flip him around, looks pretty good. And then here's his back bling next to all the different back blings released by Jazwares so far. And each one works with each Jazwares figure. And then here are all the different back blings they've made between McFarlane and Jazwares both. Unfortunately, they are not interchangeable between the two lines, as the thickness of the peg is different between the two lines. And then here are a bunch of the different Jazwares figures wearing each other's back blings, showing that they are interchangeable between each figure. And just like I said before, unfortunately the back blings are not interchangeable between McFarlane and Jazwares figures. Here's a Jazwares back bling. It's got a fatter peg than the McFarlane version. If you were to try to take a McFarlane figure and put the Jazwares back bling into him, it simply would not work no matter how hard you try. And if you were to take a Jazwares figure and try to put the McFarlane back bling into there, it would fit, but it would just be so loose because the fatness of the peg. Next, let's look at his pickaxe or harvesting tool. This thing is called the Reaper. It's pretty much like a sickle using at the farm. Something very popular for sort of creepy type figures. I think it's appropriate for the Skull Trooper. And this is pretty much exactly the same as the previous Reaper that was released with the Purple Glow Skull Trooper. It looks like maybe it's a little bit more silver or gray on the blade area. And then here are all the different scythe or sickle accessories that I have. Between all the Skull Troopers and Scarecrow figures that I have, I've accumulated quite a bit. And here he is holding his pickaxe. As he's walking by this building, he hears a chest behind the wall. Gonna go ahead, chop it down, get some brick at the same time. And then here he is, he's broken through to the other side, exposing the chest. And then he opened the chest. Looks like he got a grenade launcher, some boogie bombs, and a med kit. And then here's his pickaxe next to all the different pickaxes that Jazwares has released so far. And here are all the different pickaxes or harvesting tools released between both Jazwares and McFarlane. And I'm happy to say they are interchangeable between both lines, giving you a ton of customizable options. And here are several different Jazwares figures holding each other's pickaxes. And here are a couple of Jazwares figures holding McFarlane pickaxes and McFarlane figures holding Jazwares pickaxes, showing you they are interchangeable between both lines. Next, let's check out this guy's guns. On the left here, we've got a legendary assault rifle, commonly referred to as a SCAR. On the right, we've got a grenade launcher. Neither of these guns are new to the Jazwares line. We've already gotten the SCAR released a couple different times, and the grenade launcher released at least once before. McFarlane has also made their own version of the same guns. And here are the Jazwares ones compared with the McFarlane versions. The Jazwares are the two on the inside, and the McFarlane are on the outside. They are almost the exact same size and sculpt. And I have accumulated so many of both of these guns between all the figures I've gotten so far. Here he is holding his scar. As you can see, the trigger finger fits into the trigger nicely. He can use his left hand to support the barrel. And here he is holding his grenade launcher. This thing has two handles, so it can utilize both of his hands to support the weapon. And even though it's not game accurate, if you wanted to hold both weapons, you could. The grenade launcher is a little bit harder to hold with one hand because it doesn't have a spot for the trigger finger to go into to secure it. And here are all the different guns that Jazwares has released so far for their Fortnite figures. And then here are all the different weapons they've released for the Fortnite universe between both Jazwares and McFarlane, not including the weapons that both companies have both released. Here are several different Jazwares figures holding each other's weapons. And here are a couple Jazwares figures holding the McFarlane weapons and McFarlane figures holding the Jazwares weapons, showing you that this accessory is also interchangeable between both lines. Next, let's check out his Boogie Bomb accessory. In the game, this is a grenade-like item that you throw, and when it explodes, it causes the player to dance for, 3-4 seconds. He cannot shoot while he's doing that, so he's an easy target. You can see it's got a pin at the front, it's got a place to hold it, a handle here. Here it is next to some other throwable explosive type items from the game. We've got the Clinger, the Shadow Bomb, Boogie Bomb, Grenade, and some Dynamite. Now between all these things, the only one that's still currently in the game is a Grenade. Here he is getting ready to throw the Boogie Bomb. Here he is holding two Boogie Bombs. And here are all the Boogie Bombs that have been accumulated so far between all the Rabbit Raiders, Skull Troopers, and whoever else came with one. Next, let's check them out with some other accessories and vehicles that you can use to enhance your Fortnite collection, whether they be official Fortnite releases or substitutes. Here they are with the recently released McFarlane shopping cart. As you can see, one's inside with the weapon and one's pushing it. So I can show you how this figure is in both positions in one shot. And here he is with the McFarlane Fortnite Quad Crasher. He's able to drive it, sit in the seat just fine. He's even able to hold the handles. And then he's on the back side, wielding his weapon, getting ready to take some people out. The pegs even fit the peg holes in his feet, so he stands on there pretty nicely. Here he is next to a couple of the McFarlane Fortnite glider and launchpad combo sets. Here's how he scales up when they're attached to each other. And here he is getting ready to jump off the launchpad and glide away. And yes, he does work good with McFarlane glider. Here he is holding onto Frostwing, able to utilize the harness just fine. And then here he is using a more regular glider as well. I always put their feet sort of around the back of the stand to keep them in that sort of diagonal position. Here he is holding a can of spray paint, getting ready to tag the wall. Here he is next to a chest from Fortnite. This is actually also from the Jazwares company, but it's intended for their 4-inch scale figures. Now you may think that's crazy because this chest is too large with the 6-inch figure. It's not really meant to be scale accurate. It's an accessory set that comes with a bunch of little weapons and building stuff for the smaller figures. It's a little too big for these guys, but since chests are so important in the game, it's nice to have one I can use for the guys. Here he is next to a llama. This obviously isn't from Jazwares or McFarlane. This is just a stuffed animal that I found at Walmart. Now it's a little bit too big next to these figures, but llamas have become sort of a staple of the game, and it's nice to have one. Here he is next to a campfire. This came with a NECA Friday the 13th Jason figure, and I thought it was just perfect for these Fortnite guys. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at his accessories and some other accessories you can use for this guy, next let's check out his height. So from bottom to top, this guy's sitting at just about 6¼ inches. He's about 15¾ centimeters. Next, let's check out this guy's articulation. So his head, it can move around from side to side. His face is removable, the front part here, just like so. You can go up and down just a tiny bit with his head. Shoulders on a ball joint. And then go up, down, around, all that fun stuff. There is another piece of plastic between his shoulder and his chest area. I believe this is called a butterfly joint. It allows him to do a whole lot of range of motion, get some of those dancing motes going. He's got a bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows below that. Go all the way in. His wrist can rotate from side to side. It looks like it's hinged as well. Mine's a little bit stuck. Then he has finger articulation on top of that. He has sort of an ab crunch up here. Looks like it's got like a ball joint inside of there. Looks like he can rotate around a little bit, and then he can also go forward and back. Then he's got a traditional waist swivel down below that. His legs got a fold 90 degrees, no problem. Ball joint side of here. Then go forward, pretty nice amount. Back, really not too much. It's got a thigh cut below that. Double joint knees. Then his foot here, it can go up and down. And it can rock and tilt. And he also has toe articulation. Next, let's check this guy out compared to some other action figures. Starting off with some other Fortnite figures. So first of all, here he is with the original Skull Trooper release. This is the Purple Glow Skull Trooper. They're pretty much the exact same figure, except are a different paint job. And here are all of my Jazwares Skull Troopers. Got 4 of the purple and 4 of the black and white. And here we go, the purples versus the whites. And here they are next to my 4 McFarlane black and white Skull Troopers. This guy's got a full inch on the Jazwares version. Both are great for different circumstances, 6-inch or 7-inch. And then here they are next to the Walgreens exclusive Green Glow Skull Trooper, also from McFarlane. Here's my entire collection of Skull Trooper action figures. Got a total of 16 of them. When McFarlane released Series 1, I was like, oh, 4 of those? That'd be great for Scarecrow henchmen. Then they made a variant, and I was like, well, I have 4 of those. Then Jazwares came along, and now here we go. 16 of these guys. Like I said before, I find the McFarlane ones work great for DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures for my Scarecrow henchmen. And the Jazwares works pretty good for the 6-inch Mattel, DC Universe Classics, and Multiverse figures. Here he is next to my most recent Fortnite acquisitions. These are the newest figures from the Jazwares Legendary series. We've got Peely, Raven, Rustlord, the Black and White Skull Trooper, Molten Battlehound, and Valkyrie. Valkyrie is the last figure from the Series 2. Skull Trooper, really not sure where he falls. I'm lumping him in with Series 3, so it looks like the 5 figures on the left is the entire Series 3. And here he is next to the entire Fortnite Jazwares Legendary Collection. Series 1, Series 2, Series 3, the deluxe figures. I can't wait to find out what they're going to release next. And here he is next to the entire McFarlane Fortnite collection. And here are all the different Fortnite figures that I've gotten multiples of. I got the entire set of the wildcard figures to use as a Royal Flush Gang in my DC action figure world. I got 4 of each Skull Trooper to use as Scarecrow henchmen in my Batman world. I got 2 of the crack shots for Toyman henchmen. And then I got 4 Rabbit Raiders and 4 Night Hares for Mad Hatter henchmen. And here they are in a huge battle royale with all my Fortnite figures. As you can see here, we've got guys shooting each other, gliding, healing, getting loot, sniping, throwing explosives, shooting explosives, everyone trying to see who can get the most kills, and more importantly, who can get the win. Now, I'd mentioned earlier in this video how not only was I going to use these as Fortnite Battle Royale skins, but I was also going to double them up as Scarecrow henchmen in my Batman world. I find the Jazwares Skull Troopers work pretty good for Scarecrow henchmen of the 6-inch variety. We've got DC Direct and DC Collectibles Batman the Animated Series Scarecrow, as well as Mattel DC Universe Classics and DC Superheroes Scarecrow. And the McFarlane Skull Troopers work a little better for the 7-inch scale Scarecrow henchmen. Here we got some DC Direct and DC Collectibles Scarecrow from both the comics and the Arkham games. Next, let's check them out compared with some other action figure lines to see how they fit in both scale and style-wise. Here they are next to some DST or Diamond Select Toys action figure lines. And here they are next to some McFarlane Toys action figures. Then next to some NECA figures. And here they are next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles action figures. Here they are next to some Mattel wrestling figures. And here they are next to some Mezco 1/12 cloth soft goods action figures. Here they are next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here they are next to some Mafex action figures. Then next to some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And then here they are next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. So overall, these are some pretty cool action figures. I must say I like them better than the purple version of the Skull Trooper. These guys are a little more classic, more reminiscent of skeletons, more useful in my action figure collection. I really do like the fact that I'm getting to army build all these crazy henchmen for my Batman world, and it's really not too much of a thin stretch. If I were to rate this figure, I'd go ahead and give him a 7 out of 10. He's a nice figure. I like him better than the purple one. But I'm a little bit burnt out on Skull Troopers at this point. If I knew they were going to release this many different kinds, I probably would have just got 2 of each one from the get-go. But you know what? There's no going back now. Hoping maybe they'll release a female Skull Trooper in the future. But we'll see. This is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add it in the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Keep an eye out for my reviews on the rest of the new Fortnite Jazwares figures from Series 3. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.